Hi, today our topic for discussion will be avenues of investment. What are the various avenues for investment, how they can be classified, and their pros and cons. Saving and investing are the two pillars of financial stability. Since we all work hard to earn money, saving and investment is an art one should try and master. While saving is done to meet planned and unplanned expenses, investment, on the other hand, is about making your money work for you and in turn give you the rewards through your future returns. Therefore, choosing the right investment avenue to achieve your goals is very crucial. When we talk about investing, the medium or vehicle that we invest into is known as an asset. In very simple terms, an asset is anything with value that can be converted into money. Assets are broadly classified into two main categories: physical assets and financial assets. The choice an individual must make when they have surplus funds is whether to invest into a physical or a financial asset. Therefore, let's take a closer look into it so we can understand what asset suits what financial goal. First, we will talk about financial assets, which are also known as intangible assets, and these can broadly be classified into two categories. The first being fixed return investments and the second being variable return investments. In fixed return investments, these are avenues that provide a stable rate of interest or dividend to the investor. A few examples of fixed return investments are bank deposits, government securities, bonds, and debentures, and so on. The ultimate objective of the investor is to derive a variety of investment avenues that meet their preferences based on risk and return. A few examples of variable return investment avenues are life insurance policies, mutual funds, and equity shares. This now brings us to physical assets, or better known as tangible assets. They are known as tangible assets as they have a material existence, which basically means it can be seen, felt, or touched. Unlike the return on investments in financial assets, the returns on investment in physical assets can be generated only when such assets are sold. So the difference between the sales proceeds and the purchase price is considered the return on investment. Thus, the return on investment in physical assets is in the form of capital appreciation. A few examples of such assets are real estate, agricultural land, gold, silver, other precious metals, commodities, antiques, and so on. Now that we know about both of the avenues of investment, let's briefly compare their features based on a few parameters. First being the return on investment. In financial assets, we both have periodical returns and capital appreciation, whereas in physical assets, there is only capital appreciation. The second parameter would be a maturity period. In financial assets, all assets either have a short or a long-term maturity period, which are fixed. But when it comes to physical assets, there is no fixed maturity period, and only on the basis of sale is the gain realized. Bringing us to the third parameter, which is risk. Financial assets can consist of some risky investments and some less risky investments. In physical assets, the risk is inherent, but the amount involved is never known to the investor. Coming now to liquidity as a parameter. In financial assets, there are certain assets that will be very liquid and marketable, while the others may not be. When it comes to physical assets, these are always less liquid in nature, and not marketable easily. Now let's look at the final parameter, which is the types of investors these two assets will attract. Coming to financial assets, all types of investors can invest in these, whether it's a low income group or a high income group. But when we bring it to physical assets, all investors cannot afford such luxuries. To conclude, one must seriously consider the parameters discussed on investment avenues to help achieve your financial goals.